What is going on, Nuggets Nation NBA fans? My name is Tom Leuthner. Welcome back to Nuggets Today, presented by Fan Arch. Obviously, we have some topics to cover. Today is going to be the last day that I'm covering topics that have to do with strictly free agency or people that are still available. I am going to do some player breakdown, what I think their stats will be. I said that last episode as well. I am going on vacation for a little bit, so I do have to pre-record some episodes because I'm not sure if I'm going to have Wi-Fi over there to record these episodes and get them out to you guys. So I will be doing my player breakdowns, what I think players are going to average, how I think they're going to affect the Nuggets, and probably go through the entire roster. But talking about the roster, I do want to do a comparison to the championship roster because, like I've been covering, I think this is the best Nuggets team that I've personally seen throughout my lifetime when it comes to building around a player. Now, the closest second to me, in my opinion at least, was the AI Melo Nuggets. My favorite to watch was obviously the Danilo Andre Iguodala Nuggets, but I want to break down the team that got the Nuggets their first ever finals and the team that we have right now. So going off the first five, which is the first thing I'm going to do, and then I will go to the bench before I get to two other topics we have here today. The first topic, obviously, like I said, comparisons of the starting five. We have Jamal and Jamal. I mean, it's even. Jamal's been very, I want to say like similar throughout his entire career. I don't know the word to use. He's just been the same player. Obviously, he's gotten less athletic due to injuries to his legs, and we're not going to see like things that he did in the bubble. But from the championship year to now, I will say that they do remain even. When it comes to the shooting guard, KCP or Christian Brown, and I know Brown was on the roster, but he was on the bench, so I will compare him to a bench player for the Nuggets right now. I do think that Brown gives you more. Now, KCP was a great defender. He was an amazing shooter, but we saw CB take a massive leap when it came to the three-point shooting this year, and he also puts the ball on the floor, something KCP didn't do at all, and that's what I said last episode. He's somebody who was dribbling. Christian Brown is somebody who's dribbling. He's going to get a steal, and rather than give it up right away, he's going to take it coast to coast himself. He'll get a little block behind somebody and take it coast to coast himself and finish at the rim and dunk on people. Now, KCP could have dunked. He was semi-athletic, but Christian Brown's a different animal, so I will say that I think Brown is better in the starting five. Now, when it comes to small forward, Cam and MPJ, similar-esque-ish players, I guess. MPJ is obviously going to give you more volume from the three-point line, but I do think same with MPJ or same thing with Cam that I feel about Christian Brown. I think that Cam gives you more than MPJ does. I think that he is a player who's going to put the ball on the floor. He's going to play better defense. He might not get as many rebounds. That's something I also said last episode. But he's a better better shooter around the. Actually, I don't know. I think I'd give MPJ the shooting. I just think that Cam is a smarter player IQ wise. Puts the ball on the floor. Is going to finish at the rim more than we see MPJ do it. So I think that it. I don't know. It might. I think that I'm going to give Cam a slight step up strictly because of the defensive aspect of their games. We have AG and AG. AG is way better now than we've ever seen. His splits were amazing this year. He really became Mr. Nugget, which is what everybody refers to him as now. So, again, AG I think is better now. And then when it comes to Jokic, Jokic just gets better every single year. So, again, I'm going to give that to Jokic. So, I do think this starting five overall is better. Now, when we go to the bench, now you have a guy like Christian Brown coming off the bench. And I said that. But I do compare Christian Brown his rookie year to Tim Hardaway Jr., and I think that Tim Hardaway Jr.'s veteran leadership will play a massive factor for Denver. I don't know if he's going to have as big of an impact that Brown had his rookie year coming off the bench. He really was that good of a player coming off the bench. He's a proven winner. He's won at every single level he's ever played at. And he came in, helped Denver get to their first title off the bench. I do think he's way better now. And I think that, you know what, after seeing Tim Hardaway Jr.'s performance last year for the Pistons, I think he could be a massive factor for Denver, especially in the playoffs, because he is a vet that's been in the playoffs multiple times, and you can trust him. So I like what Denver has there. And then you have Bruce and Bruce. I do think Bruce was better on the finals team, and I think that that's going to remain the same. I think that Bruce is going to take more of a backseat role on this roster than he did in the previous on the previous Nuggets team. Not say he didn't play a backseat role on that team, but he was not a point guard. He was more of a shooting guard there. They did have Reggie. They had Ish. They had Colin Gillespie. But I think that he was just better on that team. He's getting older. He's missing more games. Maybe he just doesn't care as much because he wasn't on contenders. But I do think Bruce was better and had more of an impact on the last team. Now, when it comes to a guy like Jonas, I'm going to compare him to the backup center for that roster, which at the time was Jeff Green. I think their games are so different. Jonas is a very good player, and I think that he sort of models Jokic's game, or has the same model of Jokic's game, just not as good, and not as good of a shooter, but he could pass, he could dribble a little bit. He's not as good of a ball handler, but I think that he's going to bring something different to the table, and I think this bench has more of a need for somebody who could facilitate at the big rather than what Jeff Green did, which was sort of play outside. He was getting the minutes next to Jokic and when Jokic stepped off the court, so him and AG were sort of running that 4-5 combo. And Jeff Green was an athlete on Denver. He was dunking, he's yamming on people, blocking people at the rim. But again, I think that's sort of even, just two way different roles. Then we have Peyton Watson. I think Peyton Watson now is better, no questions asked. I think that's pretty simple and straightforward. When it comes to Reggie Jackson, you have Julian Strawther, who I think is going to be a primary ball handler off the bench. And I don't know if Denver is going to bring in a point guard, but if they don't, he might be one of those guys. So I think that's interesting because Reggie was a baller. He was able to dribble. He was able to do what he needed to do for Denver off the bench. I think that Strawther is better than Reggie when he was there. And then you have DeAndre Jordan, Thomas Bryant, and Deron Holmes. I think that Holmes has the potential to be better than what they both were for Denver. I don't know if Deron Holmes has the potential to be better than DeAndre Jordan was in his prime, but we shall see. Anyway, overall, I do think this roster is better than what the championship roster was, but I also think the Western Conference is better than what the Western Conference was. Now, bringing up Val and a certain statistic here, and he plays a different game. I saw a statistic about the chart for the career field goal percentage outside of the restricted area, but inside the paint. And obviously, Jokic is number one at plus 15.51%. And it's not close to the second player. It really isn't. It's not even close to what the second player has put up percentage-wise. And it's funny to me because the second player is actually Jonas. And Jonas was second with plus 9.31%. And I know the attempts were way off, but Jokic blew that chart out, which really proves Jokic has the best touch in the NBA. And bringing in somebody who in his career is right behind him when it comes to percentages is very good for Denver, something that they haven't had, which is a very competent backup for Nikola Jokic. And obviously that's Val on teams like, the Raptors, where he was getting more of an opportunity. The Pelicans, where he was getting more of an opportunity. The Grizzlies, where he was getting more of an opportunity. He's not going to get that opportunity now, but to have him as a backup for Jokic is truly amazing for Denver. Now, this last topic I want to talk about is the fact that the Nets are officially, or have not officially, finished the contract. So they have not officially signed Daron Sharp or Zaire Williams as they continue to explore trades with their cap space. So I wouldn't mind Deron. I know it doesn't make too much sense, but Zaire Williams is also a guy that Denver should go out and target if they can. They have a little bit of money to make it work. Hopefully, these guys aren't necessities. I do think, again, that I'll continue saying it, the necessity is the backup point guard, but we shall see what Denver goes with and does with that second, or that last roster spot rather. And if they bring in a guy like Deron for the big man depth, and then you have Deron, Jokic, Val, and Deron Holmes, or Day'Ron Sharp, and Deron Holmes. Or if you go ahead, bring in a guy like Zaire Williams for more wing depth, if you bring in a guy like Amir Coffey, or maybe make a guy like Malcolm Brogdon, a guy like DeAnthony Melton, a point guard to back up that ball handling unit. But I would be more than happy with a wing or a backup point guard at that spot. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today, Nuggets Nation. I will catch you guys next episode. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment if you guys want me to cover anything. I will see you guys soon.